welcome back to Behind the Plays. I am your host, Davion. I'm surprised I got all this energy. My throat feels like it is closing in on itself. If you hear dishes going, Crystal's doing dishes, and she's also making me food. So if you see a girlfriend with a big bowl of salad and chicken on top of it, walk by and give it to me in the meantime. Don't mind your business. But not only am I here by myself, or not by myself. Oh, so close, Eric.
And you almost nailed that.
Eric's here with me, guys.
That's good.
So, I'm sick. I may not sound sick, guys. I literally took throat numbing medicine. So, that was prescribed to me. It was prescribed. I got a prescription from my doctor. I went to the doctor today. It's not weird. I went to a doctor, I swear. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that plus ibuprofen and see how well that takes me. But I am thoroughly excited to record today.
I am too, yes. We got a lot to talk about.
Dude, I think so. Remember last season, right?
Yeah.
At playoffs, right? We talked about the divisional round, how that was probably the greatest round of football we've ever seen in our life.
Correct.
Like probably one of the greatest weeks. This was one of the craziest weeks of football I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yes,
like just pure closeness standpoint, not even like entertainment value, just like craziness.
Yeah, there was a lot of really close games, a lot of really good games, and a lot of
surprises.
Yeah, a lot of surprises too, for sure. Like pick'ems wise, we can start there. You went 8-8. I went 7-9 because the only game we had different was Packers Vikings. So clearly we did not see this week coming.
I mean, I'll get to a couple that I think, because I feel like there were a lot of games that just could have went either way.
Yeah.
And it was either a choke job or the Colts and Texans game. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I mean, let's go down the list.
Don't make me cross that Colts Texan bridge, please.
Oh, we'll get there. We are gonna get there, aren't we?
Yeah.
So I mean, without further ado, let's kick it off.
Yeah, let's recap Thursday Night Football. Bills in LA stomped
there was
on
a
the
football
the
game
Super
on
Bowl.
Thursday?
It stomped the Super Bowl defending champion Rams 31-10.
Yeah.
I mean, it was close at halftime. It was tied going into half, and then the Bills just dominated the second half.
21 unanswered points in the second half.
Yeah, Diggs put up 8 receptions, 122 yards, and a TD.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, because we'll get to the Bengals in a moment too, but this has got to be one of the few times I remember like the two teams that were in the Super Bowl and honestly coming out and not really having a great day. Like the Bengals almost brought it back at the end of their game against the Steelers, but yeah, the Rams did not have a good day. Matt Stafford struggled. Where was Cam Akers?
Allen Robinson was targeted twice all game, and one of them was that last Hail Mary at the end of the game where they were like, "Oh, he didn't try." I'm like, "Would you try if you only threw it one time throughout the entirety of the other game? Come on now."
Yeah, I mean,
it didn't matter. Didn't change
it was
anything.
Pretty much a shit stomp on
it was terrible.
Behalf of the Bills. Yeah.
I will say though, when you said I can't remember, during the game they showed a last Super Bowl champion, like was the defending Super Bowl champion, largest blowouts in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the Cowboys got blown out by 19 in their week 1. I don't remember the last time they won the Super Bowl, but yeah, you know what I mean. Then there was them. Now the Rams are second at 21. There was another team at 22 points, so they just barely missed it.
Yeah. I think we need to give big props to the Bills defense. They forced 3 interceptions.
Correct.
And did they have any fumbles? I don't think so.
Von Miller was a menace to society. He had like 2 or 3 sacks too.
He had 2 sacks, yeah. Von Miller, for being how old he is on the contract that he's playing on, had a huge game.
Yeah, I guess that contract was better valued than I initially
right? I did
thought,
not see that one coming at all.
We were both like, man, that's a crazy
contract. Yeah, that was a bit much
for
Von Miller, but no, clearly
apparently not.
Yeah, apparently not.
Apparently not.
He's going to be a Pro Bowler for 3 teams.
That's absurd.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer for 3
champion.
teams. Yeah,
maybe
a
Super Bowl champion
for 3 teams. Maybe.
Jeez. Yeah. Great game from the Rams put up a fight in the second quarter, and then like they even forced 2 interceptions to try to help them, and it just nothing panned out.
Yeah.
But like literally Josh Allen went 26 of 31 for 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So
yeah, Josh Allen had a pretty much routine game.
He was Josh Allen.
Yeah, dominate.
Josh Allen. Yeah, Matt Stafford looked like Detroit Matt Stafford, so hopefully he puts it into gear for the rest of the season. But I think the same thing we said all last season. I feel like they're going to bounce back. They play the Falcons this week, so if they don't bounce back this week, then I have a lot to say about them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
speaking of Detroit, Matt Stafford, how about we talk about
Speaking
Detroit in general?
Eagles at Lions. That was so much fun to watch.
This is honestly a surprisingly good game.
Yes, and you know what, for anyone who doesn't, if you guys watch the podcast, I'm actually streaming every week. I'm going to watch every game live. Maybe some of the, like, primetime games might not be so lucky, but we'll see. But that game, I did go live and watch the Lions game on stream, at twitch.tv/Davion_W. It's in the description, under my link tree. And I was saying, I was like, Detroit is a really good football team.
Detroit
was shocked.
Very impressive.
Yeah, and everyone was like, oh, the Eagles should be embarrassed that 35 points was put up. I'm like, guys, I don't think you understand. The Eagles played good defense. Like,
yeah, the Eagles played very, very, very well.
I was watching the whole game, and I'm like, they played well. What are we talking about here? Both teams just balled out. Like, we weren't saying this when the Rams and Chiefs had that crazy shootout, right? No. Both teams had great plays. Someone needed to make a bigger play, and that's just what happened with the Eagles. They just made that pick six was the difference maker in the game, in my opinion.
And the rushing attack from both teams was very impressive. There was Miles Sanders got a touchdown, Jalen Hurts got a touchdown, Gainwell got a touchdown, Boston Scott got a touchdown.
Oh, Miles Sanders.
I have Miles Sanders in a lot of fantasy leagues, and he was very, very, very reliable this week.
Miles Sanders, he hasn't scored in 2 seasons.
Yeah, so good for him.
I was screaming for him on stream. I was so happy.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are really good. I think the Lions are decent. Like, genuinely, I don't think this game is a knock against the Lions at all.
No, I think it's even more so. The only thing I'd knock is Jared Goff in this scenario. He threw that pick. I think that was an unwarranted pick, and it ended up being a pick six. And it was really nice seeing the two new guys. Kaiser White tipped it over to James Bradbury for a pick six. That was really cool to see. A.J. Brown had a hell of a game. He had like 10 catches for like 155 yards or something like that. It was nuts. He didn't score, but that's insane. I got 22 fantasy points off of purely just catches and freaking yards. The only thing I was a little upset about, Quez Watkins didn't get targeted all day. And Devontae got targeted 4 times, if I'm not mistaken, but didn't get a catch. I think his one catch got called back. Yeah. It was a holding call. I was pissed off about that. But yeah, that was about it. But I think it was just they needed AJ. It was AJ Brown debut. You knew it was going to be a big game from a superstar like AJ. So I think it was more so showing on Jalen Hurts and his ability to play, right? Like his biggest question mark was, can he throw effectively? And he threw effectively, in my humble opinion. Right. So, and then dude was Houdini. He literally gave us a 3rd and 15, got 16 yards, picked up a first down. That was like a highlight for me for him. But yeah, it was a great game from the rushing attack and both teams. I do also love that. Is it Jamal Williams? He found the end zone, I believe, twice. For the Bears? No, it was it twice? I think it was twice.
I know Jamal Williams scored and DeAndre Swift scored. I know one of them scored twice. I don't remember which one what.
Let me double check if my stats will work. There are currently no stats available. Please check back later. All right, NFL.com. I didn't want to check the statistics for this game anyway.
I got you. Wow. It was Jamal Williams that scored twice, yes. DeAndre Swift scored once.
I was so happy for him because one of the big things going into the season and the preseason was, is he going to get more PT? He's been he's been on their social and their TikTok and everything. Like, he's been a highlight for them and a great personality for the team and a great locker room guy. So I've heard. Yeah. And it's really nice to see him getting the PT that he deserves. And he's making good use of his PT at that. So love to see it. That was my biggest highlight from the game. I loved seeing that. Other than the Eagles getting the win, which is always a win for me, but it was really nice seeing. Yeah,
from a neutral standpoint, both teams looked impressive.
Yeah, I was very pleased. Oh, and St. Brown, dude's a monster.
I know. I put in some waivers for Amon-Ra St. Brown recently.
I didn't even play him. I have him on the fantasy game that we play. The one I didn't play him this week. I'm depressed.
Yeah,
I still won, but I was still mad. Like, I was like, dang, dude balled out.
I'm in 4 fantasy leagues. That was the only one I lost was to you.
I went 3.
I even had a work league where I started Cam Akers and still won.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see the dynasty league that you added me to with everyone? Was I had 150 something points that game because Jalen Hurts balled out, and then yeah, it was really cool. I thought it was really cool. Saquon, I was like, thank God. I was gonna trade him, And I was like, you know what? I'll keep him for the first couple weeks, see how he does. And thank God I am, because it's beautiful.
He was crucial.
Yeah, it's very good. We'll get to him in a minute. But yeah, Eagles, great win. Here's my beautiful girlfriend delivering me my food. What kind of dressing we put on it today? Caesar dressing. Sounds yummy. Thank you, baby.
Shout out to Caesar dressing.
Yes. And she's wearing a Luka Doncic shirt. Dude, life is good.
Life is pretty good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. You want to talk a little Bears-Niners action?
Yeah. I tweeted this out before the game. I don't know if you saw this tweet. For anyone who doesn't know, I live in Chicago. And Chicago, I woke up to a rainstorm. It was crazy. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, like
there was
torrential downpour.
A tree near our house, our apartment, fell over, and it was right next to my girlfriend's car. Like, it fell the opposite direction of the car. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that if it would have fallen the other way, we would have had to deal with some insurance company car stuff, okay? So it was bad. And then once you go and look at the field, they were literally playing in, like, a pool of water.
A pool, yeah. They had no drainage at all. They just replaced the turf at Soldier Field.
Yes.
It used to be grass. I believe it's turf now.
Yes.
Because back when it was grass, there were statistics showing that players who played at Soldier Field, like, had statistically significant more ankle and knee injuries. So they're like, we got to get rid of this grass. They switched it to turf, and clearly they didn't do it right because the drainage is a little messed up. They were literally playing in water, but I will say that iconic shot at the end after the Bears won, because the Bears did win 19-10 over the Niners.
Yes.
That iconic shot of Justin Fields and the team sliding all the way across.
That was really
field.
cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. Like, put that shit in the Hall of Fame.
That was really, really cool. That was dope. The penalty, the unsportsmanlike conduct for drying the ground when they were going to try to make a field goal. That's absurd. There's two things I want to say about this game. I take this game with a grain of salt from a standpoint of who lost and who won, okay? And two, Justin Fields is much more impressive than I thought he was going to be. And
He had a pretty decent game.
I will bite my words on that one.
Considering the weather, he had a pretty decent game. Only 121 yards throwing, but 8 completions, 2 of them were touchdowns. He had one pick, which it was a pretty bad pick, to be fair. But he also put up 28 more yards on the ground, too. Like, honestly, you knew it was going to be a defensive battle the moment you saw that rainstorm. And honestly, Justin Fields looked way more impressive than Trey Lance did, I will say.
Correct. And I will say, though, I don't think this is a knock on Trey Lance's
I don't think so either. This is
this is very smart.
Yeah, this is a freak game to have to start in your first career start.
Exactly.
In the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, exactly. With Justin Fields, though, the reason I was saying it's impressive, he didn't complete a lot of passes. He didn't run a lot. He didn't do a lot, right? He wasn't like out of this world, phenomenal, crazy, Patrick Mahomes-esque. No, that's not what I'm thinking. His mobility, his escapability for the O-line that he has, and how he completed those passes was impressive.
Yes.
That's what I was really impressed by that. And he got the win. I think Trey Lance is going to be fine. It was just a freak day, and there was no George Kittle. So,
take that. They were George Kittle lists as well.
Take that how you will.
Yep.
I will live by the fact that Trey Lance is still a good football player, and I think he might end up being better than Justin Fields, but Justin Fields has much more of a ceiling than I thought he did before. And I apologize to Justin Fields and Chicago Bears fans everywhere for my negligence.
Okay. That takes us to Steelers-Bengals. This was an insanely good game. Steelers win 23-20 in overtime. I mean, I'm watching this game. Joe Burrow is my fantasy quarterback in our league, actually, the one I played you.
He is. Yes, he is.
Threw 4 picks. And, yeah, I mean, this Steelers defense was insane. The good news, there was good news, bad news coming out of Pittsburgh, though, is that TJ Watt
tore his pec or something.
He thought he tore his pec. It will not require surgery. He's out for 6 weeks. He won't miss the entire season.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, so
speaking of people missing the entire season, we didn't say this with the Eagles. Derek Barnett tore his ACL.
I did see that as well, yeah.
He's out for the season, which He's very important, but Jordan Davis was coming off the bench. So it just means Jordan Davis is going to play more. That's basically all that means. So I'm not really too concerned.
Yeah,
but
I mean, they'll
I
be
forgot
fine,
to mention that.
Yeah, that is one good thing.
It sucks. Derek Barnett's a very crucial part of this team. I live by that. I love him.
Yeah, so what made me think about it is that T.J. Watt has a pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was crazy.
TJ
I don't know if you saw the pick.
He did. It was wild.
Yeah.
Him, Minka got a pick 6.
Yeah, right at the beginning of the game.
Yep. So, I will say this. I don't know what the was wrong with Joe Burrow yesterday, or whatever, Sunday. But I do not expect that type of performance to be a regular thing with him.
Oh, no, of course not. But, I mean, yeah, he clearly struggled. But I think that goes to show how good the Steelers' defense is rather than how bad Joe Burrow is, you know?
I agree. Minka
Like, I don't think
Fitzpatrick,
Joe Burrow
T.J.
is bad.
Watt, Miles Jack is on that team. Like, that team is really good. So, I have the Pittsburgh defense in our league. So,
I bet you're just in a great mood, aren't you?
If for anyone who doesn't know, I beat Eric in fantasy this week. So,
And that wasn't even the worst L I took. So
that's funny. But yeah, so that was, if we keep making references to fantasy football, that's what we're gonna talk. I'm gonna keep, bagging that until we play again. He inevitably beats me because Joe Burrow has a freaking freak day or something like that.
all right, Patriots Dolphins.
Wait.
What are we waiting on?
One more thing.
One more thing.
Despite all the
killing me.
picks, despite all the turnovers, Pittsburgh's offense needs to get it together. Okay, first.
They didn't have a bad day.
They did not have a good enough day for 5 turnovers. 20 points? 20 points? Not even. They even scored 20 points. One of them was a pick 6. You're telling me they scored twice?
Yeah.
That's terrible. I'm sorry.
What do you expect from this offense? This is an offense with a still really, really bad offensive line. Their tight end was their leading receiver.
Valid.
Like, a wide receiver was their leading rusher.
They have Najee. How did they do this with Najee being that terrible? Like,
Because
Mitch wasn't even bad. That's the crazy part.
Exactly. Is that their O-line is just super ungood. Like, I will say, Mitch Trubisky in this single game probably played better than any game he ever played in Chicago.
Right?
Like, I'm cautiously optimistic about the Steelers. I think they're going to be okay.
I think so, too. Especially if their defense stays healthy.
Yeah.
Also, guys, if I'm eating salad, mind your business. I haven't eaten anything but ramen today because of my throat. I am starving. But the Bengals had every opportunity. They even scored, and Evan McPherson only needed to make a PAT to do it, and Minka Fitzpatrick blocks it. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
The defense bailed that team out time and time again.
Yes.
So,
it was
crazy. And on top of that, they forced a fumble in overtime to stop Joe Burrow in his tracks. So, yeah. I'm just like, they didn't recover it, but they forced it, and he lost a bunch of yards. So,
right.
Anyway, yeah, Patriots, Dolphins.
Dolphins win 20-7 in Miami. I had a coworker who's not a big football guy, but his family does fantasy football every year. He's like, all right, what kind of advice should you give me? And he had Davion Harris on his team, right? Mm-hmm. I think that was his flex right now. I'm like, listen, I don't trust anybody on the Patriots yet. And he took out Davion Harris. He put in somebody and ended up winning by like 3 points.
Ooh.
So you're welcome for my grand wizardry. The Patriots did not look very good this game. I mean, we always know the Patriots struggle in Miami every year, even when they were the best team in the NFL for, about 5 years, and then they were like the third best team in the NFL for like 10, and then they were the best team in the NFL for like another 5 years. They always still struggled in Miami, and I think this game was just a reiteration of that, but for a new generation. I don't think Tua looked terrible. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle kind of popped off. Their rushing attack was a little bit concerning given Mike McDaniel's coaching connections. He's come from the Kyle Shanahan system, so they have a big emphasis on the rushing game. And their rushing game
with Raheem Mostert at that, who also is from.
Yeah, and Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert coming from that. It just seemed like it had trouble getting off the ground. But Tua looked decent. There was that one really bad throw from Tua, but to be fair, he had that high snap that he had to bring down and just kind of get rid of the ball, and everybody's making fun of that throw because it was terrible. But like I think
It
you're
was
rushed
terrible.
at that point.
It was like it felt like he was going to throw it, and then he like wanted to stop himself, so he just like it just left. That's what it looked like to me, or it felt like to me. So it is what it is. I mean, they won. Who cares?
Yeah,
They make bad plays all the time, right? But he did have the touchdown to Jalen Waddle, which I was very grateful for. And then, this was my comment of this game. I really didn't care too much about this game. I think the Dolphins won, slapped him up and down the field, called it a day, right? Who is a better celebration, Jalen Waddle or Justin Jefferson? The gritty is hilarious from Jefferson.
Yeah.
But I think the Waddle is so much more fun.
Did you see the video of the Steelers locker room after the game?
No.
They're doing Antonio Brown's dance. I don't know what he calls it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but they even got Mike Tomlin to do it.
Oh, we didn't talk about the Air Forces. They got Mike
Mike
Tomlin got his team black Air Forces before the game.
Yeah.
And they came with 5 turnovers. I'm telling you, he needs to gift them new shoes every game.
Apparently.
Dang. Could you imagine 5 turnovers a game? That'd be unheard of.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I like the Waddle as well, but I will. Yeah, that's tough. I think Justin Jefferson's a bigger name than Jalen Waddle right now, so I'll give it to the gritty, I think. Based on
agree with
fame.
that. I agree with that, but I also think the Waddle's funnier.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Dolphins fan that came up on my For You page, and he came up because I watched his fantasy football video. He's like, I've been doing this for so long. He has like an actual board, and he like takes his time and does it. He loves it. He's like, the CCFL has been branded for X amount of years, and we've done this and that, and these are the changes we made, and this and that, and adjusted, blah, 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 blah. I love him. Anyway, it's like some older guy. He's cool. He's really nice looking. Sounds nice. I don't know personally, obviously.
Right.
But he's a Dolphins fan. So when he said it, he's like, oh, there's a touchdown. Time to waddle. I was like, I love this guy. I love it. I love it. It was great. So I thought it was fun. All right. Another entertaining game that on the docket is the Browns at Panthers. Baker Mayfield going up against his old team.
It didn't play terrible.
I don't think so either. He had that one outrageous throw, but that was picked off. But he lost 26-24.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to be honest with you. This game could have gone either way, and I think his defense sold at the end there.
I think so, too. I mean, I think Myles Garrett had a monster day. He had 2 sacks, but everybody else, like, their defense kind of struggled a little bit.
Yeah. Jacoby Brissett didn't play terrible.
Yeah.
CMC also didn't play good.
Yeah, he had a decent day. Kareem Hunt had a monster day. He had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, Kareem was on his... I benched him in one of my leagues. I was pissed about it.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Yeah, obviously
the
major story here is that Baker was playing Cleveland in Carolina now that he's on the Panthers and lost. I think is kind of the major story. Here's kind of the thing about this game though is that I don't know how much I trust either of these two teams for consistently. Like I don't know how much I trust the Browns to consistently win. I don't know how much I trust the Panthers to bounce back. Like I smell like 6-win seasons out of both of these teams.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think the Browns are in a little bit of a mess and I think should be better next year theoretically when Deshaun Watson is back.
Correct.
And the Panthers, I just feel like are still kind of in a little bit of a rebuild. They're accumulating more pieces, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the health is a big concern for the team as well, right?
Yes.
Because I think Christian McCaffrey, if he could stay healthy all season, they're fine. Someone I was really upset about and didn't do what I expected was DJ Moore. He was non-existent this game, it felt like. Robbie Anderson had that big 70-yard touchdown. It was huge for him.
Yep, and I benched Robbie Anderson.
I hate to see it. I started DJ Moore. So.
I started DJ Moore in a league too, so.
Yeah, so like I wish I saw more out of DJ Moore, but that was not meant to be a pun there, but I did it. But I think Baker will make it happen. I actually don't think Baker had a poor game, but I also think he has much more potential than what he showed, and I think we've been saying that for years now, though.
Yeah.
Crystal, take off the Eagles jerseys. So my dogs have Eagles jerseys. Did I send you a picture of that?
Yes, you did tell me that.
Yes, they look great. All right, so we're gonna skip the next game. No I'm kidding.
My least favorite game. God, I hate ties.
Oh my gosh.
AFC South based ties is the most frustrating thing in the world Because the
So, guys, there
AFC
was a
South,
statistic
whenever
this
the AFC South plays each other, it's always crazy. Like some stupid shit always happens whenever there's two teams from the AFC South playing each other. And I love this statistic, and I have a feeling I know what you're going to mention here.
You know exactly what I'm about to say. Did you guys know that this week the AFC South did not win a game, and 2 of them played each other?
I know. We have 4 winless teams in the AFC South. The Colts and Texans played each other and tied. Like,
oh my God. Okay, so I want to talk about one thing and one thing only when it comes to this game. Actually, I have 2 things to say. Maybe 3. Drafting Jonathan Taylor is always the right choice at number 1. Jonathan Taylor is a menace to society. I hope he keeps it up. Michael Pittman surprised me. I didn't expect him to pop off like he did, but he did. He did the dang thing. And lastly, the Houston Texans, and I guess believing in Davis Mills is the right thing to do because that man balled out.
yeah, he had a pretty good game.
Oh, he was balling.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns on 2 receptions from O.J. Howard, their tight end that they just signed from. He was on the Buccaneers for a long time. I want to say he was on like the Bills and the Chargers recently, maybe.
He was on the Bills, I think.
Who am I thinking of that was recently on the Chargers?
Hayden Hurst.
No, he wasn't on the Chargers.
No, who went to the Patriots?
You know what I'm thinking of is no. I know who you're thinking of. That's not who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Jared Cook, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's on the Chargers now.
No clue. Couldn't tell you.
You're thinking of Hunter Henry, by the way.
That's exactly what I'm thinking of. Because I was like, Jonnu came from the Titans, and they signed another.
Yes, Jared Cook is currently on the Chargers.
Okay.
That's who I'm thinking of. Yeah, I get him and O.J. Howard messed up sometimes.
My girlfriend did not put nearly enough salad dressing on this. Give me.
You're really complaining right now in the middle of the
I'm not complaining.
Documented
Hold on.
for the world to see.
I'm not complaining because she's amazing.
I
need more salad dressing.
Do I need to get Crystal on your ass right here, right now?
No. I'm just grabbing salad dressing. Don't worry.
So you're just like not at your desk right now? Is that what this is? You seen salad dressing? Okay. So it's on me to keep the crowd entertained? Okay. I don't know how to dance. I was about to dance. I realized it's a bad idea. So Davis Mills, yeah, 240, 2 touchdowns, both of them to O.J. Howard. Boy, them Texans, they sure did tie. Put this shit on TikTok. Well, okay, I guess we'll talk about Commanders Jaguars.
Back with salad dressing.
Okay, cool. I said everything that I've ever wanted to say about Colts Texans. If you're ready to talk Jags commies.
I believe you. Also, Matt Ryan. What the hell, dude? Come on. Do better. 50. Also, how did they get off 50 passes and had 31 carries with Jonathan Taylor? I need answers. That's a lot of plays.
That's a lot of offense.
How did they do that? Also, Dameon Pierce, do better.
Okay, Jags
I am
commies.
on the most scuffed podcast side of everything. I have been, guys, it's been a day, okay? I've had a rough day. All right. What are we on?
Jags commies.
Jags. Carson Wentz, dude.
The Carson Wentz Dougie P revenge game. Commies end up winning 28-22. Honestly, not a bad game. Did you see this statistic, though? Was Travis Etienne, okay?
Okay, Travis.
The over-under for him was 20 receiving yards. Okay.
Oh, no.
But you know what I'm about to talk about? That one play?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
so there was
no.
He was at 24 receiving yards, and there was one play where he caught the ball, turned upfield, made a football move, and got lit up by whoever it was on the commies and ended up fumbling the ball. And it went backwards and out of bounds. So they technically lost 2 yards. They technically lost 2 yards on the play. And what ended up happening is that went down as negative receiving yards, technically. So he finished the game with 18 receiving yards. After having a 24-yard reception earlier in the game that would have brought him to the over.
I'm looking at it right now. That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's your bad beat of the day.
That's rough. So Christian Kirk, 6 catches, 117 yards.
That's not bad for bringing him in and making him a multimillionaire.
Is he worth
Seemingly
the money?
unprecedented.
That's pretty crazy. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, T-Law didn't look terrible. Carson Wentz just looked better.
Oh, Carson.
I think
yeah,
that comes
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
experience.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Carson Wentz looked like Philly Carson Wentz. He looked like 2017 Carson Wentz there for a minute. I don't care about the 2 INTs. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. If you're throwing me 4 touchdowns, I don't care about the 2 INTs, man. 4. He threw 4 and led the game-winning drive. Come on now. Love to see it. I love to see Carson thriving. Unfortunately, he's in my division now, so week 3 you're gonna get your ass beat. But
other than that,
I'm proud of you.
We wish nothing but the best for Carson Wentz.
I still have your jersey. I may be buying masking tape and putting brown over it, but that's irrelevant, okay?
All right. Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of like a boring game between 2 middle road teams that ended up honestly being kind of decent with the scoring wise. It was a fun game. I was proud of Carson Wentz. I think both the Jags and the Commanders played well, and this game could have really gone either way.
Yeah, and actually show some promise for both teams.
This is
especially for Washington.
This is a lot like the Browns-Panthers game. It's like, yeah, both of these looked like good games, but I don't know how much I trust either of these teams to, continue to win games or bounce back for winning games in the Jags case. Yeah. It's like this. I feel like these are still unreliable teams after just 1 week, and it kind of showed because these were 2 who I think are bad teams playing each other. One has to look better than the other.
Yeah, and for the fact, I think this is really important for the Commanders.
Unless you're the Colts or the Texans, apparently, and both of you could just look equally bad.
True, valid. I think this is very important for the Commanders, though, because of the Dak Prescott injury.
That is true. Yeah,
I think it's very important. And the Giants, we're gonna get there. I have a couple things to say about the Giants. But yeah. So that's really, I think this win is very important to them, and it showed Carson Wentz has some swag still. Yeah, we'll see how well he finishes this season, but he has he has Lions, Eagles, and Cowboys to start the season, which is solid for them. So we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Saints Falcons. All right, play the clip.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Voice on it. I don't care. This is a certified Falcons moment. This is a certified Falcons moment. I hope you saved this editing technique. This is a certified Falcons moment. This is a certified Falcons moment. Play the clip.
Yeah, man.
Oh my god. I mean, did we expect anything less?
I know. I was literally watching the game, and I was like, no way. No way. It got to 26-10, and I was like,
I checked in at halftime, and I'm like, oh, the Falcons are winning. Let's see how long that lasts. Like, what did you expect? The Falcons stay falconing. Jameis in the fourth quarter looked like an MVP. Michael Thomas popped off.
I'm so happy I drafted him in that Dynasty League. I'm so happy I drafted him in the Dynasty League.
Yeah.
You have no idea. He is a baller, bro. He is insane.
Yeah. Shout out to Cordero Patterson, though, in particular, from the Falcons.
Yeah, benched him. Benched him, too.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, what did you expect to happen, dude? It's the Falcons.
You're right, and they lost by 1.
They lost by 1. They were winning at halftime. They were winning towards the end of the game, and then they lost by a single score. Where have I seen this before? Oh, wait, I'm running out of fingers, Falcons. Like,
the crazy part about it is that they stopped the 2-point conversion to, like, actually give them – they put themselves in a winning position and just choked it.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say.
Yeah, I don't really either. I didn't get to watch the entirety of this game. I just really watched the end.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Koo because he got like 5 field goals and a couple extra points. Dude had like a crap ton of fantasy points. He was like my 3rd highest fantasy point in our game. It was like the Pittsburgh defense. Mr. Koo. That was like my top 2, which is wild. So that was fun.
Yep.
But yeah. Certified Falcons moment. Ravens Jets.
I will say, dude, shout out to Tyler Conklin in particular. Okay. I didn't know that George Kittle was going to be out until about an hour before kickoff.
Okay.
My other tight end in that league that I had happens to be Tyler Higbee.
Okay.
who had already played.
He had already played. Understandable.
So I had to emergency pick up a tight end. And I'm like, all right, who's the highest projecting tight end? Okay, I'm like, Tyler Conklin on the Jets? Sure, Joe Flacco likes to throw to his tight end because he can't throw it to anybody else. Why not? And he put up 4 receptions, only 14 yards, but he caught a touchdown and got me a respectable 8 points after being projected to get like 4.
You love to see it.
So shout out to Tyler Conklin in particular.
What a guy.
You know what else I learned out of this is that I really like the Jets running game. I really like the Jets running backs. I like Michael Carter. I like Breece Hall both quite a lot.
Yeah, I was confused when they drafted Breece Hall because he's a rookie, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was really confused because they drafted Michael Carter.
Yeah, Michael Carter was a rookie last year too. Yeah.
So I was like, why are they? What are we doing here? And
well, I don't know. It's the Jaguars moment too. That's the same reason when they got Travis Etienne after having James Robinson.
Yeah. This is just I'm almost certain they drafted Travis Etienne for the sake of pleasing Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Almost certain. But here they developed a 2-headed monster, and it's a pretty good.
It's not bad,
and
I think that the Jets can potentially ride that running back core for as long as Joe Flacco is the quarterback.
Yeah, and Joe Flacco can't throw 59 times in a game. I'm sorry.
No, you can't make poor old Joe Flacco throw 59 times. Yeah, I mean,
he couldn't do that on the Ravens.
Lamar threw it 30 times. That's honestly high for Lamar. I think that's a perfect number, like right around that area. Yeah. Yeah, so 30, Lamar had a pretty good game too. 17 completions on 30 attempts for 213, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Also ran 6 times for 17 more yards too.
Wait, they got Kenyon Drake?
Yes, they picked up Kenyon Drake.
I missed this.
Like the day after the Raiders released them, they picked up Kenyon Drake, and Kenyon Drake is like kind of probably be their featured back until J.K. Dobbins is back. Mm-hmm. Whatever happened to Gus Edwards? What's Gus?
I didn't know they had Kenyon Drake, so I don't know what happened to Mr. Gus Edwards. I couldn't tell you. But, Mark Andrews got his 5 catches in. Rashad Bateman had 59 yards on 2 catches.
Gus Edwards is also hurt still.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Duvernay had 2 touchdowns. So, hey, he threw for 3 touchdowns today. He didn't rush for 1. So, not bad for a running back.
Not bad.
How long can we ride that?
Until the day he retires.
Good.
It's not bad for a running back.
All right, who's next?
That would be after Ravens Jets is Packers Vikings.
I'm gonna find this game on my list here somewhere. There it is. Here we go.
Vikings win 23-7. Packers struggled all day. This had I think you mentioned this earlier or the last podcast. This had shades of the Saints game last year, Week 1. I mean, they couldn't really get their receivers going, which we kind of expected to happen. Romeo Doubs was their leading receiver in terms of receivers. Technically, A.J. Dillon was their leading receiver. Wow. Here's the thing, though. Aaron Jones only getting... Played. Yeah, Jordan Love got garbage time play, and he honestly didn't do too bad for, garbage time. Here's a couple things that I want to point out about the Packers, okay? The wide receivers need to be better, for sure. Yeah, and Aaron Jones only touching the ball 5 times is pretty criminal.
Very much so. That plus the fact that he ran for 49 yards and 5 touches means he should be getting more touches.
I agree.
Second, Christian Watson dropped a wide open touchdown. There was no one in the vicinity of him. He just dropped it. He's a rookie, so I kind of expect these things. But if you're going to do that, throw it to Cobb. Throw it to Watkins. Those guys are veterans. They know what to do. If that's what's going to happen, then put those guys in. Do that. I still think Aaron Rodgers is really good at football, but his pick was also pretty bad.
He needs help.
Yeah,
did you see the thing about Jair Alexander with this kid too? He had to beg the Packers coaching staff and say, "Put me on Justin Jefferson all game." They did not do that.
That's stupid. He's the best cornerback on their team.
Yeah, and Justin Jefferson went 9 receptions, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, dude went insane. He went nuclear. Adam Thielen touched the ball 3 times because Justin Jefferson's the best wide receiver in football.
Yeah, he's up there.
I honestly think he's the best.
Still feel like Devontae is until proven otherwise.
Oh, valid argument.
This week, yeah, Justin Jefferson. I'll give you that much.
That was valid.
But right now, I still feel like it's Devontae. And speaking of him, I think the Packers missed him quite a bit.
Yeah. He doesn't drop that. So, yeah,
Yep.
they score a touchdown. So, I'm just saying. It's neither here nor there. Yeah, this is great for the Vikings. This shows that they can win and win convincingly at that.
Yep.
So, I'm glad I picked them, and I felt like it was going to be a good one for them. And I'm glad I was smart. It's a tough game.
Yep.
Tough game for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, but we'll see.
Okay. Next up on our docket is Giants Titans. Now,
What's the coach's name?
Brian Dable
Brian Dable. Bro needs a wheelbarrow.
for his gigantic
His
testicles. Yes.
nutsack is huge.
Yep, going for 2 and putting them in a winning position was huge. But let me know if you've heard this one before. The Titans are having struggles because they can't get the kicking game right. I feel like I've heard this narrative for the last 3 years.
Sounds about right.
I feel like the
2 for 3
Titans
on
should
purpose.
be a good team, and should
Didn't they
be
miss
good.
their field goal?
Yeah, they missed
game-winning
the game winner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
who misses game winners?
the entirety of the NFL this week, apparently.
Yeah, anybody?
Oh, Rodrigo Blankenship, who got released.
Yeah.
Who else? Who else this week?
Yep.
Evan McPherson got blocked, then missed 2, and then what's his face on the Steelers missed the first one in overtime, then made the second one.
Yeah, there was nobody else whatsoever who possibly could have missed a game-winning field goal.
Oh.
To be fair, okay, I don't think Brandon
Nah,
McManus
that was-
missed that field goal. I think Nathaniel Hackett missed that field goal.
I also agree with that statement, but I thought he hit it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought he drained that bitch. When it first went up, I was like, "Oh, that bitch good. Oh, that bitch is good." And then it floated right there. It had enough power.
Yep. So, I mean, are the Giants good?
Okay, I think that this game does not make them a good team. I think they are still okay. Okay. But if Saquon Barkley can go 18 carries, 164 yards, this team is scary. Daniel Jones went 17 of 21 and only had 1 interception. That is scary.
Yeah.
Okay. With the wide receiving core that they have, Wan'Dale Robinson didn't touch the ball once. Kenny Golladay touched the ball twice. Okay. This team could be terrifying if they get it together.
Yeah.
If they can keep stuff like this up, they're fine. I think the one thing that the one thing that made it meh was a missed field goal. They lose this game if Duke makes a field goal. Think about it. It was a good game. They played well. Don't get me wrong, but we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there.
Yep.
Ask me that question week 4. We'll have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Because I think week 4 is when you kind of see what's sticking, what's not sticking, what's actually doing it. Because the last time Saquon was like this was his rookie season.
Yeah. He popped off.
Phenomenal.
And,
I was very happy.
we're talking about is Saquon still a legitimate threat in this league? And he clearly should. He was. He had 194 scrimmage yards.
Yeah, dude was insane.
Yeah.
Popped off. I finished my salad. And I feel great. So
Life is good.
life is great. Giants and Commanders won this week, and the Eagles won. So can we really talk about the NFC East being the worst division in football right now anymore?
No way. The AFC South is right there.
Valid.
Apparently, the NFC West is also right there.
Yeah, the NFC West was wild this week. Everyone lost, but the Chargers, because they played each other. Speaking of that, Raiders at Chargers.
Oh, the
hey,
NFC
guys.
West would be
Yeah.
the only team that
Oh,
won.
I'm sorry. Seahawks. The Seahawks were the only one that won. You're right.
Yes. Yep.
Which is even crazier because the other 3 are the ones we thought were good.
Yep.
But the
speaking of
AFC West.
AFC West, Chargers, Raiders. Chargers won 24-19 in a pretty solid game in LA.
Pretty good game. Yeah,
This is a revenge game for the matchup, Week 18 matchup to get into the playoffs last year, which was the funniest game of all time.
Absolutely. Just take the tie, guys. Just take the tie.
Yeah, just take the
Derek
tie.
Carr threw 3 picks.
He did. 2 touchdowns, though. One to Devontae Adams and one to Brandon Bolden. Shout out to Brandon Bolden.
Yeah. Devontae Adams is on the passing thing, but he was sacked.
Yeah, because I think they tried to trick play, and he got
That's
sacked.
hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yep. The only thing, Keenan Allen did get hurt this game as well for the Chargers. It's a hamstring
that's
injury.
not fun.
They think he's probably out for this Thursday night against the Chiefs, but could be back by week 3.
Okay, so I
it's not,
shouldn't
like,
bench Mike
tremendously
Williams, is what you're
serious.
telling me.
Yeah.
Shouldn't bench Mike Williams.
Justin Herbert
Got it.
popped off.
I mean, yeah, it's Herbert's doing Herbert things.
Yep.
All right. It was just I don't know, it was a game. That's how I felt.
It was a good back and forth game. I think it was solid.
Yeah, I didn't feel like anything was out of this world insane.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun. Yeah. So, woo! Go AFC West.
All right, that takes us to Chiefs.
The final game of Sunday
Cardinals.
afternoon.
Finals game Sunday afternoon. Yeah, Chiefs win 44-21. Patrick Mahomes throwing for 5 whole touchdowns. Do you think he misses? Do you think he misses Tyreek Hill that bad?
No, not at all.
Nope.
And you know what's crazy about this game is there are 2 things I want to point out about this. A, Patrick Mahomes is doing Patrick Mahomes things. Isaiah Pacheco is a baller. Dude's crap. Like,
Yep, he had a solid game, and they still use Clyde a decent amount. I mean, he had 7 carries, but he also had 3 receptions too, 2 for touchdowns.
yes.
So they
Juju-
clearly they've kind of turned their running game, which I think has been kind of a weaker point of the Chiefs for the past few years, into like a 2-headed monster, kind of like with what the Jets have.
Exactly, and I think those 2 work well together after watching it.
Yep.
And then Juju had 6 catches for 79 yards,
Yep.
which I told you. It was like, hey, he hasn't had
He's
Patrick
gonna look,
Mahomes throwing
he's
it
gonna
him.
look better with Patrick Mahomes throwing him the ball.
But
with
Travis
Roethlisberger.
Kelce is
well,
just
Travis
a
Kelce is the
menace.
best tight end who have ever played this game. So yeah, expect him to do well.
So did you know that the Kelce brothers have a podcast?
Do they really?
They do. I see TikToks of them now. I think it's called Jukes. And what's his face? Travis was saying something about who the best player is at his position. He said George Kittle.
I mean, Travis Kelce has a ton of respect for the tight end position, which I appreciate.
Yeah. And he said he couldn't pick one person at first, and then Jason was like, you have to pick, if you could pick one. He was like, George Kittle, but like Darren Waller, Andrews. He was talking to those guys, so there's so many good guys. And they had like the tight end university thing, which is really fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, love it.
There is one person in particular I want to point out, which is Justin Reed, who plays safety for the Chiefs. You see this story?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The kicker went down, didn't he?
Yes, Harrison Butker had like a brief ankle injury. I believe he ultimately came back. Or something. Maybe it was like towards the end of the game and they needed Justin Reed to, who plays safety, was a backup kicker in college, played kicker in high school.
He went
Or he
1
was their
for 2 on
emergency
extra
kicker, I
points.
should say, not a backup kicker. He was an emergency kicker at college. Had to do a kickoff and scored him an extra point too.
Yep.
And like
Good for him.
He booted that kickoff. I don't know if you saw the kickoff. It went through the uprights.
Oh, he sent that thing. Shout out to Justin Reed, and he was a free agent. He was the Tyrann Mathieu replacement.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's pretty funny.
Yeah, that was huge for them.
So yeah, but Mahomes, I mean, early MVP case. So
I think so too.
yeah.
I mean, I think he's always in the MVP race as long as he's in this league.
As long as he's alive,
Yep.
right? So yeah, he's cracked. Yeah, there's nothing else to say. The Cardinals just, I mean, Kyler didn't even, they didn't turn the ball over. Like, they just got outplayed. Like, nothing else to say about that. Hollywood was solid though for them, and I thought that was really cool.
Yep,
I think he's gonna be good for that team.
Yep, I don't think the Cardinals are bad just because they got kind of destroyed by the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are that good.
Yeah, and also no D-Hop. He's out for the first 6 games because of
that'll
suspension,
certainly help.
which is a big benefit. You know, that's huge.
Yeah, when he's back, that'll be a big boon for them.
Yeah, I don't know. Whoo, that's gonna be crazy. Him and Hollywood together is wild.
Yep.
All right, Sunday night.
Sunday
Bucks,
night.
Cowboys. Fun statistic of the day: the Cowboys were the only team in the NFL in Week 1 and to this date that have not scored a touchdown this season.
Yep. I don't think Dak Prescott getting hurt is going to help. I believe
Not
he
at all.
needs What happened to Dak Prescott? Was it
So
his hand?
he had a thumb injury, and they said he needed surgery. I think they said they needed surgery. Let me double check.
Well, I
Dak
think Jerry Jones
Prescott.
came out. Originally, they said he was going to need surgery, but I think Jerry Jones came out today and said he might be only out like 4 weeks. He won't need surgery.
Yep. He said 4 weeks. If worst case scenario, it's 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So
So
Prescott's now expected to have surgery and could miss 6 to 8. But he came on. This is yesterday, so he came on today and said on a podcast or something. It said maybe 4 weeks.
yeah. So I mean,
Sucks.
it sucks. Yeah.
Cooper
Like
Rush?
I hate seeing people go down like that for sure, especially Dak, who had that that scary leg injury a couple years
Horrific
ago.
injury. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I say this all the time. I say when the competition is gone because of injuries, it's not fun. So if
Right.
the Eagles win the division because of that, it's not fun. Right? I want all of my competitors to be at their best so we can stomp them at their best.
Right.
That's where it's fun. And that's what competition is about. You want to play people at their highest because it challenges you, and that's what makes competition fun. If it's easy, it's not fun. So I really do hope Dak Prescott gets well soon. And I hope that we get Sunday Night Football Week 6. I hope you are available because that'll be really fun.
Yes. Yep.
So-
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Tom looked good on Sunday Night
That's all
Football.
it was. Yeah.
It's pretty, without saying it, I think it's pretty much stated that this is Tom Brady's last season.
Yeah, I think so too.
Good to see him start off with a win, and hopefully he gets
And-
it right out at least.
and
semi-successful.
Giselle tweeted like, "Oh, I love Tom watching. I love watching
Yeah,
Tom
so it seems like
football,
those
so
divorce rumors are getting shut down pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm super confused about what's going on with him. I think
Yeah,
he just
well,
needed some
apparently
leave to
what
maybe spend
happened-
time with his family.
Yeah, what happened was apparently it came out today that Giselle is stopping modeling and potentially gonna stay at home now.
Oh, I
So
see.
it
So
could have
maybe
been stuff with that.
could have been. Who knows? But I think this is Tom's last season. I think this is it.
Yep.
But we said that last season, and the season before that,
Yep.
and the season before that. So here we are, right?
Yep.
But it seems like it's it. This one is more like you can kind of tell, you know. But here we are. Anyway. All right, Eric.
Listen, man. People were writing off Geno Smith,
I was one of those people.
but he did not write back.
No, he did not. He did not write me back. I sent him an email and everything.
Geno had a really good game, I will say. From a neutral standpoint, I was pretty impressed with how the Seahawks played.
I think from a neutral standpoint, I was
they're
impressed both
they're
ways.
one of the weaker teams in the NFL for sure in terms of their roster.
Yes.
Geno Smith had a pretty good game, and clearly they made the right decision starting him over Drew Lock.
Very much agreed.
Yes,
Very much agreed.
they're kind of like ragtag group of individuals. Honestly, played well. Jamal Adams, I believe, is hurt and will miss a significant amount of time now. Honestly, it's kind of strange that the Seahawks are the only NFC West team with a win right now. But okay, let's get into this.
There's two things I want to point out, and I think this is interesting to point. This was a very, very sloppy game.
Yes,
from
it
both
was.
teams.
Both teams look
From
pretty bad.
it was really rough because there were fumbles left and right.
Goal line fumbles, like you can't.
Goal line
you can't
fumbles. You
fumble
guys
at the goal
fumbled on
line.
the 1 and the 2 yard line like twice, three
Yep,
times maybe.
something like that.
And then what am I listening to? I got an ad on the ESPN website. But I will say the Seattle defense was solid. Did you know that they have a Kobe Bryant and a Michael Jackson on their team?
Yes, I did know that actually.
Yeah, I did not. Yeah,
Yep.
it was crazy. I was like, that's wild.
Yep.
It was funny. But I think Jamal Adams is out.
He got hurt. Yeah, he'll miss a
Yeah, he got hurt.
significant time.
So that's a rough blow for them. I think he's solid, a great football player for them. So it's gonna suck. But something I think is going to I think is going to benefit is this win, right? They obviously get a lot of momentum off of it, but I also don't think this is end all be all for the Broncos. I don't think them losing this game is detrimental, right? I don't think they played terribly.
For God's sakes, I hope it's not.
I think Jerry Jeudy had his moment. It was a great touchdown. It was the only touchdown they scored.
Yeah, with Jerry Jeudy, what he did with that ball, that was great.
Yeah, second half,
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton was nuts. I will say this was the only thing I disliked about the Broncos, outside of obviously the time management at the end of the game, was the seven carries for Javonte. I know he touched the ball 11 times on the receiving end,
Yes.
but I don't like 7 carries.
I mean,
and
they're getting
12
Melvin
carries for
Gordon
Melvin.
carries too as well. Is the thing is like they kind of also
I
have
don't
a
like
two-headed beast with Javonte and Melvin Gordon.
Javonte needs to touch the ball more than Melvin. The drive that mattered, that second to last drive where Javonte fumbled on the one, it should have been flip-flop. Javonte should have been your down back trying to get down the field, and Melvin should have been your goal line back. That's my humble opinion.
I don't know. Melvin Gordon's kind of more of a speed guy, and Javonte's more of a bruiser guy.
You think so?
I do think so.
Well,
Yeah.
Well then.
I mean, the thing that people are going to talk about is the decision that, with like a minute and a half left or so, Nathaniel Hackett elected to just bleed out the clock, and on 4th and 5, kick a 64-yarder and not trust Russell Wilson, who you paid a shit ton of money to and has already thrown for 340 yards this game, to make a play. Which,
hey,
I mean,
he's a first-year head coach, right?
This is Nathaniel Hackett's first year as a head coach, yes.
Okay.
He was previously the OC in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. But before that, he was the OC in Jacksonville with like Blake Bortles and that Jacksonville era. So
I get it.
yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a very, I think, kind of honestly bad decision. Like
yeah, I
as
agree.
I say here with Cheeto dust on my shirt, like you should have done this, right? It's high stress environment, but I think in hindsight, and I think even Coach Hackett said in hindsight, he probably should have gone for it.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Something else I'd like to point out is, remember last season when the Eagles were kind of bleh after week 1? Like they went like 1-4, 1-5 or something crazy like that. They were a terrible losing streak, and we blamed it on the fact that, Nick Sirianni, why weren't you running the ball? Eventually, Nick Sirianni ran the ball, and we made the playoffs, right?
Yeah, so I think getting rid of some of those coaching jitters.
Yeah, that's all it is. And that's what I think it is. I think it's his first game. He had a lot of pressure. Russell Wilson returned to Seattle. Seattle is not an easy environment to play in, by the way.
Very tough
also,
environment.
Seattle, you guys should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah,
Why,
so
why
apparently what
booing
happened,
your Super Bowl champion quarterback? He won a Super Bowl for you guys, and you boo the man?
Yeah, I mean,
Terrible. I'm sorry. That's messed up.
Yeah, so apparently what happened on that Javonte Williams 1-yard line fumble is the center for the Broncos. It originally was a pass play, and Russell audibled to a run play. The center didn't get the memo because it's so freaking loud in Seattle, and with pass blocking. And Javonte Williams just didn't have room, ran right into him.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, right? Like I say, the Seattle environment, they call it the 12th man for a reason. That place is loud. They literally have a decibel marker because it gets so loud in there. Mm-hmm. So that place gets to like 100 decibels consistently.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a tough game to lose, but
it's a tough game to watch, tough game to win.
I think they will bounce back this week.
They fucking better. For my sanity.
They play the Texans.
They play the Texans. They fucking better bounce back. If we lose to the
Texans. And we will be swapping game times this week. You guys get to play after Sunday afternoon. We're playing Monday night.
Yeah, there you go. You're welcome.
Yay.
We play Sunday Night Football next week, too, against the Niners. Oh, my God. There's so many games we need to win. The back half of our schedule is so bad, we needed to win the Seattle game.
You did need to win the Seattle game.
Oh, my God.
But it's okay. You guys can bounce back. I still think you guys could win 11, 12 games and make the playoffs fine.
I think we freaking better, dude. I can't take another year of the Broncos missing the playoffs. Just let us be a 7 seed out of pity.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's your recap for the week. And we're gonna, we get games this week.
We do
of
get
course.
Games this week. We get our first Amazon Prime Thursday night game when the Chargers head into Kansas City for the Chiefs.
Shout out to the Chargers for playing 2 back-to-back division opponents.
Yep.
That's rough.
I think it's actually 3. No.
No, they play the Jaguars.
Somebody does it 3 times. I think it's the Saints. Yeah, the Saints do 3 back-to-back divisional games.
They played the Falcons. They play the Bucks this week.
And then
Who do the Saints play next week?
They play the Panthers.
Rough.
Yep.
That's rough.
Yep. Okay, so Chargers at Chiefs. Who you got on Thursday Night Football?
This one's tough. I think the Chargers are so well defensively. I think they're obviously going to give a better challenge than the Cardinals did. But based off of the Patrick Mahomes performance I just saw, I think it's going to be an instant classic game, but I'm going to take the Chiefs.
I'm also going to go with the Chiefs. I think the Chargers and Chiefs, respectively, are more competent opponents than the Cardinals and the Raiders. I think this is going to be a real big test for who is top dog in the AFC West.
Correct.
Dude, that was put that shit on a newspaper. Oh my god, did you hear that?
Yeah, you're on. You're
I don't even
true.
know if I can replicate that. There you
No,
go. There's a TikTok clip.
There you go. Honestly, beautiful. All right, we'll move on to Sunday, the 18th. Patriots are heading to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers.
Steelers had an impressive win. Patriots had a pretty unimpressive loss. I think the Steelers win this game. I think they're better than the Patriots.
I also agree. T.J. Watt's going to be missed this game, but I don't think that's enough of an impact for the Patriots to move the needle closer to the
with the way
Patriots
the
side.
Patriots offense is struggling, I think the Steelers defense is plenty enough to compensate even without T.J. Watt.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Panthers head into MetLife.
This is a tough game, I think, because you have the 1-0 Giants hosting the 0-1 Panthers, but it feels like the Panthers are still a better team on paper.
Oh man, I agree with you, but
I
man,
had a hard time picking this game.
I've gone back. This is the one back and forth I went on,
Yeah,
and I think I'm
yeah.
going to go back on what I initially had again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I'm
With
going to go New
Carolina.
York. I'm going to go New York.
I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
Yeah. I really like what the Giants did week 1. I don't like as much what Baker did week 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think the defense can do well for New York, but I also think it could go either way. So
Yep. Okay, Jets at Browns.
this is another weird game. The Browns had a
I have no
okay
idea
win.
why, but I always look forward to this matchup in particular every single year. Jets and
Can I
Browns.
ask why?
Don't know
Why?
why.
Huh.
I couldn't tell you. I remember. This was Baker's first start when he was a Brown, and this was the Browns' first win in like 2 years.
Oh
Or
right.
something like that. Is
Yeah,
they beat the
that's
Jets
crazy.
on Thursday Night Football, and I remember it because that was when I think it was Bud Light had all those vending machines full of beer
Right.
that open out, and they gave the city of Cleveland free beer when the Browns will win, or something like that.
That's hilarious.
And they beat the Jets. I remember to do that, so I remember it
sense.
vividly. So yeah, I always look forward to this matchup every year because I remember that in particular. It's weird.
All right.
Yep. So I'm gonna go with the Browns for now.
I also took the Browns.
Yep. I don't really trust the Jets at all, and I especially don't trust them without Zach Wilson yet.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't
Yeah.
like them without Zach Wilson. Like, I don't think Joe Flacco's bad, but like they had him throw like 60 times. Like that's absurd.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, Colts heading to Jacksonville as the Colts. I believe this is another. Is this a divisional?
This is
opponent?
another
I can't-
divisional game for the Colts.
Okay,
Yes.
they're AFC South. Yeah.
Yeah. The AFC South is weird.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, the Colts are in
Houston.
Indianapolis. You know, that very southern city, Indianapolis.
right. So it's like Tennessee, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and
Houston.
Houston. Well, it's like everywhere. But the Colts are heading down to Florida to take on the Jaguars.
This was the game that the Colts lost their playoff chances with last year.
This
was
is a
in
revenge
Jacksonville.
tour. Yeah, revenge tour.
So I think the Colts will win this game.
I also think the Colts will win this game. I hope Matt Ryan shows up. Seriously. I think
I
he
hope
did
he does
okay,
too.
but I can't believe you guys tied with the Texans.
Yep.
Can you imagine if they tie this game?
Dude, I freaking hate the AFC South.
It'd be wild. It would be wild. All right. Dolphins at Ravens.
This is another tough game to call because I think both of these
Agreed.
are like, you know, like high middle teams. Like, you know, like these are like your 6 and 7 seeds ish.
Correct. I think these are your
Theoretically.
bubble teams.
So I'm gonna go with Baltimore because I think the home field advantage is gonna matter.
I think Lamar is too much for this Dolphins defense.
Yeah, and
personally.
I think Lamar Jackson's going to be kind of a little bit of a mismatch. But I will say, I could see a pretty high scoring game because I don't really see how the Dolphins defense is going to stop Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Yo, yeah, it's tough. I can see like 28-21, 28-24, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna
I
go
do
with
have-
the Ravens.
I agree with you. I have the Ravens winning this game. I think Lamar Jackson is too much for this team. But I do think that how the flip side, Tyreek and Jalen Waddle are also too much for the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
That is if Tua can hit them. All right. Bucks at Saints. The Bucks are the better team.
This is a classic. Game in the regular season. Recently, at least, is Bucks Saints regular season game.
They're phenomenal games. The
I agree
Bucks
with
are the
you.
better team.
Bucks are the better team.
I'm picking the Saints.
It makes sense why, and I know
I
why you're
can't
picking
not
the
do it. Like I've done this
know-
like 4 times now.
I know why you're picking the Saints, but I am going to go with the Bucks.
For anyone who doesn't know, Tom Brady is winless against the Saints in the regular season.
While he's been in Tampa.
While he's been in Tampa Bay. Let me clarify.
Yeah.
While he's been in Tampa, he has been winless against them in the regular season. And he only beat them in the playoffs that one time.
Yep.
When he won the Super Bowl. I'm saying that Jameis might have a good game. I think Michael Thomas being back is very important for this as well. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm picking the Saints.
Yep.
Commanders at Lions.
Another home game for Detroit, this time against a theoretically less formidable foe than the Eagles.
Much easier NFC East team, that's for sure.
I think the Lions pulled this one out. I'm going to give it to the Lions.
I'm also taking the Lions, but if Carson Wentz has another game like he did last week, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull it out.
This game could go either way, but I got good feel. I have a good feeling about the Lions, and I'm
feeling
they need
Detroit,
to win
man.
some games. I'm feeling Detroit.
I said it on my live stream that I was like, man, I maybe not be thinking I don't think that highly of the Lions like everyone else does, especially Eric. And then when I watched the game, I was like, man, Eric was right. This team is crazy.
Dude, the Lions are just...
They got some talent.
Yep.
Got some talent.
Yep.
Seahawks heading to San Fran to take on divisional opponent 49ers.
Yes. I am going to go with who I think is the better team theoretically, even though, according to the record, it is not true. I'm going to go with the 49ers. Hopefully, Santa Clara is a little bit more dry than Chicago.
Please.
And yeah, I'm going to go with the Niners to beat the Seahawks.
George Kittle's back. He's just missing the first game. I am also going with the Niners. I think Trey Lance is going to have a better game. I think the home debut will do a little bit more than the road debut.
Yep.
And give him a little bit more benefit to the doubt. So, benefit of the doubt, I think better than Seattle. Seattle's going to miss. I believe they lost Jamal Adams. They lost also like a cornerback or something like that too, I think. So that those were two big players in the win over the Broncos. So if the Niners can clean up a couple of the things they did, the Seahawks might be able to exploit some things though. So I think this could potentially go the Seahawks' way, but I think the Niners win it. Just home field advantage means a lot here.
Okay.
All right. Well, the Rams are playing Atlanta, so we know who we're going with. Moving on.
Falcons at Rams. I'm going with the Rams because the Rams are not the Falcons.
Yep. But I also think the Rams are a better team. I think Matt Stafford's going to have a good bounce-back game here.
Yep. I think the Rams are not the Falcons.
It's a very valid point.
So I'm Cardinals at Raiders.
Raiders. I think the Raiders are a better team.
I think these are two 0-1 teams, who I think are pretty solid teams. I feel like head-to-head matchup, theoretically, right on time. I'm going to go with the Raiders. I saw a funny statistic, and I don't think this is true, because there's no way this is true, because it's kind of way made up. But it was funny. It was like Kyler Murray is 0-47 on double XP weekend or something like that. I'm like, there's no way Kyler Murray has lost 47 games in, 5 years? That's not how math works.
That's just not how math works.
But yeah, I thought it was funny.
The Cardinals are, if they lose this game, they're really in a pickle because they played the Chiefs to start the season, then they play the Raiders. Next week they play the Rams. Week after that they play the Panthers, which I know the Panthers are bad, but the Panthers.
But then you have Eagles, Seahawks in Seattle, Saints
in Seattle. Yeah, it's rough.
Vikings. They don't have a very easy start to their schedule. I think they really needed that win against the Chiefs, even though I don't think it was likely to happen.
But it was a home game.
They need some help early in the season, I think.
Yeah, it's really rough. So they're gonna have to beat one of the Rams or the Raiders. I think is a really good one for them. So we'll see how that goes. Moving on, got Texans at Broncos. I swear to God, Denver.
The freaking Broncos better win, dude. Oh my God.
I swear to God. But Davis Mills looked like a G. I'm not gonna lie to you. Davis Mills was slinging that thing.
He's not a G today. I'm sorry.
I hope not.
Yep. So Broncos.
That's all I gotta say. Come on, Russ. Home opener. That's all it is. Home opener.
Bengals at Cowboys.
I actually have the Bengals winning this game. No Dak. Amari Cooper is no longer on the team.
Is huge. Yeah. Bengals are looking to bounce back after a pretty poor showing against the Steelers. I agree. Bengals should beat the Cowboys.
There should be no reason why the Cowboys. Yes. Yeah, that's rough. And I do feel bad for the Cowboys. That really does suck, man.
Yep. Okay. Sunday Night Football, a classic. Bears Packers in Lambeau.
Man.
Even though the Bears won, I think theoretically they're a worse team than the Packers. And I'll say this till the day I die, and I got the official alpha stamp of approval of this quote, okay? There's no way the Bears will ever go 17-0. Because best case scenario, they go 16-1. Bears don't beat the Packers in Lambeau ever. I'm going to go with the Packers.
I'm also going to go with the Packers, but I would not be surprised if the Bears upset. The wide receiving core
I
for the...
smell it, and I can see it, but I'm going to go with the Packers. I think it's way too...
I agree. I'm
way
Packers
too bold
too.
to say the Bears are going to beat the Packers in Lambeau.
I agree. And I 100% agree with that statement. The reason I think that there's potential for an upset is the wide receiver core for the Packers is abysmal right now. The Bears' defense is phenomenal. It really does depend on the grit, right? Can Justin Fields make plays? We saw he can make plays in a flash flood. Can he make plays when the weather's okay?
Can he make plays theoretically when the weather's okay in Lambeau?
Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers is going to make those plays. So we'll see. Monday Night Football, we actually have a doubleheader this week.
They usually do the doubleheader week 1, so I'm not sure why they decided to do it week 2 this year, but whatever.
Better games, let's be real.
Yep. Titans at Bills.
Bills.
I'm going to go with the Bills.
This is a fun game.
Bills are the best team in the NFL. Bills are also on a very long week.
Yep. Went Thursday to Monday.
They played Thursday last week. So, yeah, I think the Bills should beat the Titans. I'm going to go with the Bills.
I'm also going Bills to beat the Titans, but I think it'll be a really fun game. Primetime Henry is just phenomenal, and his run game is just insane. So I'm expecting a 2-touchdown game from Derrick Henry.
Yep.
Even though, like, the Bills could still win after a 2-touchdown game from Derrick Henry.
Yeah. So Titans-Bills is your AFC matchup. Your NFC matchup is Vikings at Eagles.
This is a fun game.
This is a fun game.
Run
this
back.
This is shades of the NFC Championship from
2017.
2017. I was going to say, I don't know what year it was.
I believe it was 2017. That's the year we won the Super Bowl, right? What Super Bowl is coming up this year?
No, because it would have been 2018.
Maybe 18? 18 is right. 18.
Because I remember the Broncos won the Super Bowl the year I graduated from high school. That was 2016. So.
Great. So 2 years later would be 20.
So 2 years later would be 20.
I graduated high school a year before you.
You did do that.
That's
I thought we've
crazy.
been over this.
I feel like we've never been over this.
Yes, no, you're a year older than me. We've been over this. There's no way
feel
we
weird.
Yes.
I feel weird. I feel like you are. I've always felt like you were like a year or two older than me.
It's because I look like I'm 30.
No, maybe it's because you actually finished college and I just didn't care.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
You are a year older than me.
That's wild. Yep. Anyway, yeah. So Vikings at Eagles. I think it's gonna be a great game. I think Justin Jefferson is gonna give us problems. Darius Slay Jefferson is going to be really fun. We had that. I think we had, we have Bradbury, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is really fun. This is going to be a great matchup. Adam Thielen's a menace to society. He didn't have a great game week 1, but he's still a menace. Dalvin Cook, we couldn't stop the run game for the Lions. Are we going to be able to stop Dalvin? So we'll see how that goes. This will be a fun game. But it's same on the flip side, right? Mm-hmm. The Vikings literally just dealt with a bad receiving core. Now they're going up against A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Quez Watkins, plus Dallas Goedert, and some of the best receiving backs in the league. So this is going to be a fun game. I'm going to take the Eagles because I can't willingly go against my team while we're winning. So.
Oh, no way, yeah. I mean, I think the Eagles are on a hot streak right now. I think the Vikings are solid, but saying they'll win in Philly right now is a little bit too bold for me. I'm also going to go with the Eagles.
It's going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game. Very excited for it. Love seeing it.
So then I believe we have 2 games different this week. Panthers-Giants and then Bucks-Saints.
Panthers-Giants. You picked Panthers. I picked Giants. Bucks-Saints. I did pick Saints. You picked Bucks. Cool. Yeah, that's exactly right.
I think we lined up everything else.
Correct.
So that means your only away wins are Colts-Bengals?
Correct.
Okay, then I'm correct in this. Okay.
That is correct.
Yep. Okay. So then to recap, I am taking the Chiefs, Steelers, Panthers, Browns, Colts, Ravens, Buccaneers, Lions, 49ers, Rams, Raiders, Broncos, Bengals, Packers, Bills, Eagles.
And I got Chiefs, Steelers, Giants, Browns, Colts, Ravens, Saints, Lions, Niners, Rams, Raiders, Broncos, Bengals, Packers, Bills, Eagles.
Okay.
Whew. It's going to be a fun week.
I think so too. Good week too.
Very excited.
A lot of
Very
fun
excited.
matchups.
We can't go 0 for 2 on Monday nights, right? We can't go 0 for 2.
Shut up.
We can't go.
We should be 2-0.
It's okay.
We're
gonna keep track of primetime games of the
out
week.
of 100, the Broncos should have beaten the Seahawks, and it makes me mad.
Yeah, I honestly,
it ruined my
it's
whole
crazy.
day.
It was rough.
I will say Monday wasn't a very good day for me at work. It was just like a boring, meeting-filled. I was done by 12:30 kind of day.
Dang.
And then the Broncos lost. I told my coworkers, we'll call them. I'm in a bad mood today, so I'm sorry if I take that out on you.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. And you know what? How you worded that, I know exactly what you meant.
Yeah.
Because unlike you guys, I know what Eric does for a living.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I think
you
it's
guys so
been
much
brought
for
up on a
listening.
podcast before. If anybody really wants to dig that deep, I don't think I'd care too much.
Probably not.
But just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening this week.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys, as always. How are you doing in the BTP Dynasty? Did you
I
win
won.
this week?
I won because my opponent started Isaiah Spiller, who didn't play, and George Kittle, who didn't play.
You played.
And I think I won by like 62. So
You played against Specs or Big Fish, right?
yeah, I played against Fish.
So I scored the 12th most points in the league. So I was 12 out of 16, and I won my game.
That's all it takes.
My dude put up 80, I think, this week. So I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah, I played Fish. Oh, I thought I won by more. I won by 27 points.
You won by enough.
Yeah.
I think
so,
I scored 110.
Yeah, potentially a starting running back and starting tight end is the difference maker there.
Oof.
I don't think I had
Yeah.
a terrible week. Like
It's crazy 'cause
yeah, I left
in the
Robbie
other
Anderson
league-
on my bench, and honestly, that was the killer.
In the other league, the other dynasty that I joined late and the team was already drafted for me, I put up 161 points.
Yeah, I put up 144 because
I finished third at 161 points because there were two people that played against each other. It was like 165 to 164.
Mhm.
And I was like, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I almost benched Lance for Mariota because of the weather. Because I saw the weather outside at 9 a.m. I was like, I'm gonna bench Lance. I feel like it's gonna be a terrible game.
Mhm.
And I should have. I would have been 9 more fantasy points, but it didn't matter. I won. So
Yeah, I had a decent week in that one. I put up 144. Jonathan Taylor and Justin Jefferson single-handedly put up 66 of those
Jesus
144
Christ.
points. So
yeah,
I think I'm in a good spot.
yeah.
I got really lucky because that's our 10-team league. I had like the 8th pick last year. And I remember thinking, all right, Jonathan Taylor, I guess. And then this is back when Justin Jefferson was like, the 4th or 5th best receiver on the board last year.
Right now he's the
So I
best
got
receiver.
him in the 2nd round. So I'm super happy because I have Jonathan Taylor and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, for me in the league we do for BDP, my receiving core was supposed to be outstanding because I was like Amari Cooper, Mike Thomas, AJ Brown. AJ Brown, Mike Thomas showed up.
Yep.
Amari Cooper, not so much. I have a Cooper, Moore, and Woods. I'm probably gonna bench them for like.
Yep, I had
Higbee
I had
this
T
week or
Higgins
something.
and CeeDee Lamb too, and they were supposed to pop off, and T Higgins got hurt, and then Dak Prescott got hurt, so CeeDee Lamb didn't. I also had Bob Woods, who kind of had a bad game too.
I also traded Kareem Hunt and a couple picks for Josh Jacobs, and I'm starting to be upset about
I'm
it.
just glad the Miles Sanders. I traded for Miles Sanders last year. I remember.
Miles Sanders is a G.
Yeah, I traded with Rez.
It's a good trade. It's a good trade for you.
Yeah, I forgot who I got rid of, but I remember he gave me Sammy Watkins and Miles Sanders. I think I remember Kadarius Toney was in the trade.
All I know is
And I
that
forget
league, that
who
person was on
else
a
I
5-game losing streak to end his season. So whoever I replaced had 5 games to end their season. They lost. I broke the losing streak my first week as a GM. It's like I came as the new GM.
Yep.
I'm like polls right now. I'm feeling like a god.
Yep. Yeah.
Came in there, made a couple trades, made a couple moves, did my thing.
Low key, the
160.
the MB team on that dynasty team is Lenny Fournette. Like,
You have Fournette too?
yeah, he always gets me like 14, 15 points and gets me out of a pinch. I love Leonard Fournette.
Dude,
He's been doing well
you have-
fantasy wise for me.
Hold on.
last
You
year.
have Leonard Fournette, Jonathan Taylor, and Justin Jefferson.
Correctamundo.
That feels broken.
Yep, and Lamar's my quarterback.
And Lamar.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to pass me one of them running backs? Jesus Christ.
No.
Jesus
like my running
Christ.
backs.
Jesus.
Oh, it didn't help that
Christ.
my opponent also started Cam Akers too.
Jesus Christ. You even have Michael Carter benchwarming Sterling Shepard. What is this team?
I'm telling you, it's not bad.
This team is cracked. You're winning the championship. I think you win. I think you just win.
I thought I was gonna win last year, and then I didn't.
It's okay. What
took fourth.
place you finished last year?
4th.
Top 4. That's fine. You're
Yeah,
gonna.
well, 'cause-
You're
No,
You're
because I was so the playoffs was the 2-game back-to-back total points, right?
Yeah.
After week 1, I was winning by like 7 or 8. You know, like I had a slight lead, and then this is in the semifinals, and then Jonathan Taylor had a bad week, so I lost. Like, what do you want me to do?
Right.
So, and then I went to the finals and did the exact same thing. Had like a 7 or 8 point lead, and then Jonathan Taylor had a bad week 18 because that was the Jags game that the Colts should have won.
Yeah.
And I lost, and I got 4th.
Rough.
Yeah. So
All right.
it is what it is. Yeah.
Well,
That's what kind of happens when you have to ride Jonathan Taylor at the end of your season. Like, if he has a bad game, I have a bad game.
Well, I had fun today.
Yes, I did too.
Hopefully, Broncos bounce back against the Texans. Eagles-Vikings should be
fucking
entertaining. I'm going to keep the good luck jersey on. I wore Deshaun Jackson for game 1, so I'll rock Deshaun Jackson for game 2 of the season.
Yep.
The Aces are up 7 going into the halfway through the third quarter, so life is good.
I just wore my Broncos t-shirt because I had to work.
I see.
Yeah. So I have a little pullover. It rained hella in Vegas yesterday too. A little bit today actually.
I was gonna say on Sunday because did we live in the same place on Sunday?
No, yeah, it was Monday. Monday today it rained hella. You know how Vegas.
Oh yeah, Vegas is spontaneous.
It rains like crazy for an hour and a half, and then yeah.
What happened?
Yep. So that happened yesterday morning. So I had like this really nice Broncos pullover my mommy got me for Christmas.
Shout out to your mom. Shout out to mom.
Maybe she should do my picks. We used to do a pick'em league with my family too, and my mom was the bookkeeper, right? And then she won every year, and we're like, "You're fucking cheating. There's no way you're not." Like,
listen, you know what we should do? We should do a celebrity week one week, okay?
Yeah.
We're gonna get our girl. Oh, I guess my girlfriend, your fiance. I can't say girlfriend. I feel like she would take high offense to that.
Our women compatriots.
The women. We have them pick the week, and we don't know until we start the podcast episode. We don't pay attention to the doc until we start. So we start and we walk in and we're like, "What the fuck are these picks?"
Okay, I'm all for it. Yeah. Like I'm telling you, my mom made some of the wildest picks, and they would always work out. Like
that's how it goes. I had
like listen, bro. If I have an affinity, my affinity for like Taylor Heineke is my mom's affinity for the Jaguars. I have no idea why she always picked the Jaguars, and it worked out every time.
I was it was my sophomore year of high school, and we did a March Madness bracket, and I know basketball very well. I was a big follower. I was in high school, so I didn't care about anything else but college basketball. March Madness is one of my favorite times of year. I knew a lot about the players then, who to watch, what to pick. That was the year I got the entire first round correct, including it was a 15 seed upset. It was I think it was Florida Gulf Coast. The Florida Gulf Coast upset. I got that. I was cracked. I got the entire first round. Then I got like half the second round, so I got screwed. Because there was Florida Gulf. I didn't think Florida Gulf Coast was going to go in twice, okay?
Right, yeah, one was enough.
But the crazy part was there was this girl. I finished third, and I got the entire first round correct with the champion, okay? Mm-hmm. And there was this girl in my math teacher did it because he was a big basketball fan too. And he's like, "Oh, we'll put gift cards up. Third place gets $10 Starbucks gift card, 15 and 20, right? We'll do it that way." I was like, cool. I finished third, right? So I was happy, but I was pissed at the same time because there was this girl who picked. The two were two random girls who picked based off of colors. I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" I went through this analytical hour-long study, and these random women do this to me.
Katie tells me all the time that she loves the Seahawks because she likes their colors, and I'm like,
to see it.
That's not how you can pick teams. I remember because. She really liked the Colts because she really liked Peyton Manning.
Understandable.
And then, you remember Eric Decker by chance?
Yes, I do know what Eric Decker is.
So he used to be on the Broncos, and then he was traded to the Jets, and then he spent a lot of time on the Titans.
Right.
And he is married to Jesse James, who is a country singer, right?
Yes.
So Katie loves country music. She knew who Jesse James was, so she knew who Eric Decker was, and it helped that at the time Eric Decker was on the Broncos. Nice. So it came to every week or so. How'd the Titans do? Like, how did Eric Decker do? I'm like, well, when did we become Titans fans?
When did we become Titans fans? Right. So I've learned that I am a by association Titan fan. I'm an Eagles fan, through and through. Okay. I love Derrick Henry. I love Derrick Henry.
I think it's okay to like players in the NFL nowadays.
I want to see the Titans succeed just because of Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is fun to watch.
I agree.
He's about it though. And Carson Wentz, I do want to always see Carson Wentz succeed.
Oh yeah, I always root for former Broncos unless they left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, and Carson Wentz didn't. Dude helped us win a Super Bowl. Like,
Yeah, he helped you get to a Super Bowl.
seriously. We wouldn't have been a 1 seed without him. Like,
Yep,
he won us
I
13
always
fucking
root
football
for,
games,
I always
dude.
root for players that make me happy. Like I will forever root for Taylor Heineke. I will forever root for Nick Foles.
Right.
It makes me happy when backup quarterbacks pop off.
Two
Because
games.
The last
There'll
time
be
we
two
had a
games
back,
this season.
Because the last time we had a backup quarterback pop off, he became the most impressive player in the NFL for 23 years. So we
Yeah?
got to take what we can get. Like, give these guys a chance.
Yeah, there'll be 2 times where I won't cheer for Carson Wentz. That'll be week 3, and then the other week we play them.
Yep.
So, yeah, with that, guys, I think we're wrapping it up there. Had fun conversations at the end because we always like to converse.
Yep.
If you stayed that long, we appreciate you. If you guys want to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff on all of our platforms, I'd greatly appreciate it. Anything from Eric on the sidelines there?
Dog, I got nothing, dude. The Broncos better freaking bounce back.
Broncos country, let's ride. I'll catch you guys next time. Have a
Broncos
great
country,
evening.
Let's die.
Have a good one, guys. Peace out.
See ya.